Hello, it is Ryan Patton from LiverpoolEcho, and I am delighted to be joined by the legendary Jamie Webster. Jamie, how are you feeling tonight?
Good, good. It's my first time I've ever been invited to something like this. First time wearing the tux as well, so yeah, it's all right.
You look very smart.
Thanks very much. I didn't know he was going to be here, and then Emma, who's been looking after us, she said, "Oh, do you know Paddy Pimblett? He's on your team." So I haven't seen him in a couple of weeks, and he didn't know I was here either. So
You can do an episode of the Boss podcast.
yeah, it's me, Paddy, and Jennifer Ellison's the guest this week, because she's on our table as well. But yeah, it's all good.
How appropriate is it that an event such as this is staged in Liverpool?
Oh, it's massive. You know, if you look, I was only talking to my my vocal coach the other day, and she said that in like a 5-mile radius there's something like 80 or 90 languages spoke, you know, in this city. So I mean, that speaks for diversity in itself. And obviously all the communities, you know, we've got a massive Pride community here as well. You know, every year at Pride it's amazing, and you know, even the fact that we hosted the Eurovision not too long ago, you know what I mean, I think that speaks volumes for the diverse culture and interests and pop cultures that are here in the city, and yeah, it's just great.
Especially like because the sort of the causes that this event is championing, that's stuff that you champion in your music as well, so that must be extra special that you're here, feels very suitable.
Yeah, well my message is obviously everyone's equal, you know what I mean, and no one's got more of a right or less of a right to be here than anyone else, you know, and as long as you're not hurting, insulting or harming anyone, you know, you've got a free rein to go and do what it is you ever want to do, and if it's making you happy, that's the other side to it as well, which is massively important. I don't think enough people in the world actually strive to do things that make them and others happy. They do things because they feel like that's what you should do, or you know, that's the way to go with a career or something else.
I saw you at the halfway house after Liverpool beat Roma in the Champions League semi-final, so it was a good night. So I always love seeing how well you've done for yourself. Sort of, what do you think is the sort of the key to how you've managed to sort of ascend to the heights that you have done?
Obviously, you know, I'm now, you know, my main career is away from football songs, but that initial support and like of the Liverpool fans when I first released Weekend in Paradise, which is nearly 5 years ago in November, which is insane. It's making me feel a bit old because I'm 30 now as well. But it's, you know, it started off with, you know, Liverpool fans giving me the leg up because I give them the memories. And well, I didn't give them the memories. We made the memories together in Kiev, in Madrid, in Paris, and all of that stuff. But you know, the initial burst of support that I got from the Liverpool fans definitely, you know, put me on a platform ahead of everyone else who was doing what I was doing at the time. And then I think the fact that, like, I think what's put me ahead of everyone else is I was an electrician for 9 years. I know the value of a day's graft, I know the value of a pound, and like, I think the fact that I put that into my work, and also I'm not trying to, you know, I never changed who I was and stopped talking about the things that I've always spoke about. I still am who I am. And, you know, I've got a great network of people around me, you know, who I work with, and also my friends and family and my wife, you know what I mean, who, if I poke my head too far above the pedestal, I'd be called on it straight away, do you know what I mean?
I think as well, like, you set the blueprint almost for how, like, sort of working class musicians and sort of make it, I think. It's like, how special is it for you for that? Do you feel the same way, or?
Yeah, definitely. I think you just got to work hard, do you know what I mean, and, like, believe in yourself, and for me, you know, find your message, do you know what I mean? If you like, find out what you stand for, find out what you want to say. Like that, I'm not a pop artist, do you know what I mean? Like, I might make songs that sound a bit poppy now and again, but I'm not a pop artist. I don't write about champagne lifestyles that I've got no interest in living. I don't write, you know, another love song every single time, a generic storybook love song of Romeo and Juliet like Ed Sheeran and Coldplay will always like. And look, don't get me wrong, I wouldn't mind being a record sale or a quid behind either of them, but at the same time, do you know what I mean? Like, the love songs that I write are about, like, real things, about give and take in a relationship, and about the ups and downs, and like what is actually beautiful in a relationship, and it's the little bickers and the little arguments that you win and lose, and the private jokes that you have with each other, and the stick that you give to each other about certain things, and your personalities, and you know, at the end of a horrible working day, just to come home and like have someone cook your tea and, like, you know, give you a cuddle, like that's like, you know what I mean, that's like about as much as you can look forward to, do you know what I mean, in reality, do you know what I mean? I'm only joking, of course, but like, I just think being true to the messages and like trying to put it across in a way that people can relate to, you know, don't try and, like, Bob Dylan's my number one ever, but I don't try to be too profound in my lyrics all the time. I try and write lyrics in the way that I'd speak to them, to a fella on the street or to me mate at the match or in the pub or whatever it is, do you know what I mean?
You've had a few, you've had many pinchy moments in your life, Klopp, Glastonbury, Sefton Park. What's the one that stands out to you most?
I probably have to say Sefton Park, just because, like, people probably don't realise from the outside how much goes into a show like that. You know, from like that show is not turn up and sing for an hour and a half. That show is 18 months in the making, in the planning.
And Ricky Tomlinson.
But yeah, you know, writing scripts for Ricky Tomlinson, you know, budget meetings, having to worry about the fences, the paramedics, the food, the drinks, everything that goes into it, you know. And also, we had an hour 45 to play 45 songs and 4 speeches from Ricky Tomlinson and all my talking as well at the same time. So we timed it in rehearsals, and we were running over and over and over. And like my production manager was saying, Jamie, this show will be cut, it's law. So like if you don't finish on time, Weekends in Paradise will be cut. And it was like my biggest fear ever. So I had 2 clocks the side of the stage, and after every song we were looking at the clocks each side. And then when Dave McCabe come on to do Valerie, I knew we were well in time, so I was up for a good night then, and I was like, right, I can relax. But then a fight broke out, and my production manager spoke into my ears and said, we've just lost 1 minute 30 seconds. And that was like, timing was so precious. But then when I went into the last chorus of Weekends in Paradise, I seen it turn to 21:58, so I knew I was going to get to the end of the song. So that feeling of when the fireworks went off and I said good night to the crowd and it turned 10 o'clock, you don't understand like, how much satisfaction there was in that. And it might sound a little bit nerdy, you know, there's 30,000 people out there, but like, it all goes into it, you know what I mean? And like, with 20 people working on that time frame and 20 people working on delivering that show the way it got delivered, and everything went right. And let me tell you, that almost never happens. You might not seem that way when you're on stage, but behind the scenes, something always goes the way it shouldn't have gone. And that night, it never. And to have 30,000 people, Ricky Tomlinson, Ian McCulloch, Dave McCabe, Brooke Combe as well, an amazing friend of mine, who's like an honorary Scouser, you know what I mean? It was just perfect, and I had my friends and family there. You know, it was no matter what I do in my career from this point onwards, nights like that can never be taken away from me, and never be taken away from the people who were there that night.
What is next for yourself? How do you top that moment? What are you chasing next?
I just think I'd like to get in front of a few new people. You know, I'd like to grow my audience and share, you know, if I can do a bigger gig than that in Liverpool one day, that'd be the dream, you know what I mean? Where that may be, who knows? But
Anfield.
where that may be, who knows? But you know, I think to be able to now for the next 18 months or so to just get in front of people, you know, get on festival bills, maybe get a few support slots for a few bigger bands. I haven't had many of them. No one really gives me support slots. I don't know why, whether it's because I'll blow them off stage, I don't know. But Richard Ashcroft's been the only one really who's ever given me a support slot. And I supported Red Rum Club on my very first one on an acoustic, like September 2019, you know what I mean? But other than them, I don't think I've had that much, you know.
Oasis are playing next year.
Yeah, I think there's a few bigger fish that are on the horizon for that one, unfortunately. But yeah, so a few nice support slots to get in front of some new fans, do you know what I mean? And be able to maybe share my message with them. That'd be ideal now. So a good festival season would be nice. I'm lucky to be where I am. I know I'm living out nearly every kid, you know, a lot of kids' dreams in the city and beyond. And I just as long as I can make sure that I don't, I take advantage of the opportunity and don't take it for granted, and keep working hard and keep my feet on the ground. You know, more nights in tuxedos maybe as well, do you know what I mean? James Bond next, but yeah, if I could be James Bond or Batman in the next 30 years, that'd be sound as well.
Whether you're going to follow Paddy's footsteps and raise some twins? Or?
Oh, raising twins. There are twins in my family, and weirdly enough, right, so my dog is a year to the day younger than Paddy's dog. And Paddy got married a year to the day before me. So, if, you know, there is a weird thing there. I'm not trying to copy him, I swear, do you know what I mean?
But after his twins are born.
Twins in my family and his twins in me missus' family. So, I don't know, I'm not like, whatever kids I have, I will love them dearly. But I'm not sending any signals out to the universe in this because, you know, having a dog is hard enough at the moment in time. But we'll see how we go. But yeah, just as long as I can live a happy life with my wife and my family, you know, for as long as possible. If I'm lucky enough to have a couple of kids, you know, I think that's probably one of the greatest assets you could ever have in your life, you know, is family, you know. And you could have all the money in the world, but if you haven't got family, you know, you're not as rich as that person, you know, as those people. So they're the memories for me, you know. Maybe become me and Rachel become the lovers in the supermarket, you know what I mean? That'll be the dream. But yeah, until then, I'll just keep trying to do what I'm doing, and hopefully I don't upset too many people in the meantime, you know what I mean?